Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're taking this CB and turning it into a ham radio. Perfectly legal, higher power. Let's go do it. See if I can do this one-handed. This is 3, 4, 5. This is the Retevis MB1. It is a 4-watt CB radio, and it is actually a pretty good little CB for what you get in the box and what all it's supposed to do. Oh yeah, real quick, since this radio wasn't designed to do 10, 11, and 12 meters at 15 watts, it's up to you to make sure you don't explode it by running too much power through it and burning out the finals trying to do something that it wasn't supposed to do. Just keep your foot out of it. Easy enough, right? This is a return that I need to do QA on and verify that it's still working. And one of those things is to make sure that all of the right parts are in the box. So we got radio, mounting bracket, and some screws, and a microphone. And I have some mounting hardware for the microphone that I can add to this collection. This looks like it's got the right stuff so far. So they went through all the trouble to put the microphone back in its bag. And the reason why I'm looking at this pretty hard is because this one looks like it was actually used quite a bit. The coil's got some dirt on it. There's a little bit of scuffed uppedness there on the button on the back. And then this thing here is a little tiny bit dirty. So we'll see if we can get some of that cleaned up. But it's a used radio, so we don't need to get it like sparklingly clean and brand new and whatnot. We just need to make sure that it works and does the thing. And then somebody's going to be happy with it. You want to get all the dust off that you can dry like this, because otherwise you're just smearing mud around, and that makes it even harder. And then the little stickers that you get, somebody had stuck them on, which is fine, but I'm going to take them back off because the one of them's broken in half and we don't need that. And I don't know how useful those are or unuseful those are. And then it's a little dirty around the side, but we'll survive, we'll live. It still has the screen peel on it. I'll leave that on for the next person. But what I'm gonna do with this radio is verify that it works and then tear it down, show you what it looks like inside, show you all of its guts and glory, and then we're gonna make it into a ham radio from a CB radio. One of the cool things about being a ham is that you get to modify radios and put them on the air and do things. One of the bad things about that is that once it makes the trip over to be a ham radio, you can't use it on CB anymore. At least not legally anyway. Since this is a CB radio, we're gonna need something that has a cigarette lighter plug on it. Well, I guess since it's a mobile CB radio with a cigarette lighter plug, we need a cigarette lighter plug socket to make it work. This is the Dapson 600L solar generator. It makes sun. It uses solar panels to generate electricity, just like a gas generator uses gasoline to generate electricity. Gas generators don't make gas, folks. Solar generators don't make solar. This is literally a tower of power. We got the power meter here. I gotta set that for HF mode. So in order to do that, I need to turn on the power station and then turn on the DC, and she comes to life. And that red is a little hard to see on camera, I think. Let me get some color changes in there. I think the cyan looks best on camera. All right, we are, oh, are you in Vox mode? Oh, it's in Vox mode, awesome. Well, we gotta turn Vox off first. Vox level is 3, Vox T timeout is 4. That didn't say on or off, that just said what it is. Maybe it's the level, okay, nope. We'll leave that at 3 where it was. Okay, so it's not that either. So there's the microphone there and there's the microphone on the button. So we'll do a very long press. Might as well do a reset while we're there. All right, she's reset, and that did turn off Vox. Awesome. Now we got to go back in and change that color. Okay, so FM mode, channel 9. We're into the power meter, and the power meter is connected to a dummy load. Let's check it out. 3.57. Excellent. Let's switch it over to AM mode. We're now in AM mode. Let's check it out. 3.6. Give it a little swing. Swing! Oh, we saw it up to 4. And I have seen this thing put out more power with an antenna than it does with the dummy load. So it is what it is. And we're going to open it up and we're going to make it some more because we can. All right, we are on channel 6 in FM mode. I'm setting my other radio up to also be in FM mode. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. It does put out audio and it rattles a bit off of the power meter. Let's try AM. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so receive sounds fantastic. Why not transmit? Testing, testing. Gotta turn some volume up. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yep, I can hear it on the other radio just fine. That's in AM, FM, FM. Testing FM. Testing 1 2 3. Testing FM. She transmits and she receives in AM and FM. In order to do this mod, first I need to know if I am clean on CB on this radio. So we're going to get out our tiny SA and we're going to test out its harmonics. Should be fine, but there's only one way to find out, and I don't want to convert it over to ham and then chase down a demon that it already had before it had ham. But even if it does, we're hams. We can fix this. Okay, so this is that tiny SA kit that I was telling you about. You can find this awesome case with your own call sign on it on Etsy. I will leave a link in the description down below for you. This is the ZS407 version of the Tiny SA, which just means that it does larger frequencies. What I need is some attenuators. I need 40 dB of attenuation to protect the Tiny SA from the radio. Come on now, get out, get out. And so these are 220s, and you can stack attenuators like that. This case was not designed with attenuators in mind, so that's why I was having trouble getting that out. But there is all this really cool storage space stuff down under here, and even a really neat little SMA wrench. So what I need to do is chain these guys here together to get me my 40 dB of attenuation, and then I need to add in a media converter to get me to convert over, and then I need to plug this into my Tiny SA, and this is where that SMA wrench comes in handy because you got to get your fingers in there somehow. And I don't know if this is actually the right torque spec or not, but this thing here will give up a little bit. Like you feel like you're going to break the tool before you can over tighten the deal. So there we go. There is our Tiny SA, our attenuators, and our connector. And then next up, oh, that squelch has always been really touchy on these guys. Let's turn the squelch on because I'm not really interested in receive. Squelch set to 8? That's not right. Oh, it's low. 34 because I'm not interested in hearing. Okay, there we go. Now we're not getting any interference coming into the radio. These things have always been pretty shockingly sensitive. Okay, so that gets that. We're on FM. FM is good enough for the test that we're doing because we're looking for harmonics. So let's boot this baby up. And I also want to do a little bit of a zoom. All right, so let's get this guy set up for harmonics. So I want to measure harmonic because it's all built in. And I'm going to do channel 6, Super Bowl 6, which is 27025. So I'm going to do 27.025 megahertz. And then the span, I'm going to leave this at 1x. And then I'm going to do level, external gain, and that's 40 dB of external gain at 1x. And then I'm going to do back, measure, back, display, there it is, draw line, at minus 16.02. And this is our pass or fail line. Again, 1x. So we have a line here of whether we pass or fail, and we're going to key up, and it's going to take a couple of seconds for it to sort out its harmonics. And anything that is below the blue line is good, anything that is above the blue line is bad. And look at how clean that baby is. We have one signal, and the blue line going across, and no harmonics. Fantastic. And then you can feel these things and they get a little bit warm when you do that because that's their job. They're supposed to turn extra power into heat. And so we have protected our Tiny SA. We've measured it. Everything is clean. We will need this again for the second part of the measurement. All right, so now I need to unplug this, turn off my power station, and we're going to start tearing this thing up and see what it looks like inside. And it's got some weird screws on the bottom. So we'll need our screwdriver kit, and we'll need to figure out what those screws are. It ain't that. There it is. Torx! The screwdriver kit is perfect for bench work because it has all of those different tips that you saw. And they're all stored nice and neat. There we go. Let's get you guys zoomed in. So what is all of this cool stuff in here? We've got our RF filter section. You can see the twisted up coils in there. We've got more RF filtering underneath of this band here, but I can't show you because it's up against the back wall. We've got our SO239 connector. We have some transformers. I didn't know why I called those transformers. We have some transistors. I can't read that. Let's see what that one there is. Can I just zoom it in? It says IRF Z2 and maybe an A17, but it looks like it's been scratched off a bit. What else did I see in there that might be interesting? So this is a neat little trick if you've got one of these cell phones and you got older eyes. Look at this microscope that I just did. But can you see these two lines, let me point with something that's not my finger. Can you see these two lines right here? One of these is the mod that we're going to do, and one of those is another mod that we're going to do. So this diagonal line that you see right here is your frequency and power expansion. So we're going to up the power and we're going to expand the frequencies so that we can get more than just CB out of this. And the lower one there changes your region. So all we're going to do is place a jumper between a little short jumper wire, bodge wire, between those two pins on that diagonal line there. But other than that, that's heatsink on the other side. So it's attached via heatsink. Inside of here is some more RF stuff, and under here is some more RF stuff. And this is just shielding to keep them from interfering with each other. And then we've got a display board up front here with a chip on it, CS1622GN. But overall, she's clean and shiny inside as I'd expect her to be, and everything is working great. Let me get out some jumpers and get that squared away. I'm going to be using my Pine Sill, which is a super awesome USB powered soldering iron. That's going to let me get in there. Watch this. Poof. Turn it on. Look how fast this thing heats up. And that's off of a USB plug. Now it does matter what USB plug you plug it into. That's hotter than I need it to be. So I'm going to turn that down. I solder at 640 Fahrenheit. About 300 Celsius. So I need to get that set somewhere so I don't burn my house down. All right, so that little jumper on the diagonal white line, it certainly didn't change back from red to yellow to red because I certainly didn't screw up at all, but it's on there. It's a lot of fun to do. So have some good eyeballs, which I don't have, and have some patience, which I kind of actually have a lot of. And now we got to get over and do a special magic finger press on the front of this radio in order to get it to know that it's been modified. And when you turn it on, it says TS, as in terribly sorry. Function, band name. You can change the names of the band. So you can make it say CB when you're in the CB band, or say like HM when you're in the ham band. RUSK, TOT, bright, color. Let's change that while we're here. That green looks pretty good in person too. All right, cyan it is. Roger beep, RF gain, RF auto. Max out the RF gain, 48. RF power, there we go, that's what I was looking for. So the RF gain is the incoming signal, the RF power is the outgoing signal. So let's set this down to low where it is, and we'll do a little test. Microphone's plugged in, we are plugged into a dummy load, so we're not hurting anybody. All right, so TX, FM, RFG for RF gain, and 3.75 watts. Let's go back into our function menu, RF power, medium, 8.25 watts. Whoa! Let's go back in. And let's do RF power, high. 15.5, I saw 15.41, but 15.25, I'll take 15.25 all day. Nice. Let's set this back down to low, because we would never use more power than necessary to make the communication, right? Actually, the reason is, we need to test our output, and I don't need to fry my measuring device. So we're set to low power, and I want to check the filters, and this time I need to change the frequency over to something on 10 meters. So that's 26.615. What's the 10 meter calling frequency? I need to go to 28.405. So first I need to change the band to get me to the 28. I'm hitting the function key to do that. So 28.415, and I need 28.405 is channel 8 on band G. Excellent. We've got our signal chain all set up like we were supposed to. Let's get our device set up the way it's supposed to be. I'll just go through this real quick. 28.405 megahertz. 1x, did that wrong. So I won't set this up fast. 28.405 megahertz. There we go, 1x, level, external's already set for 40, display, draw line for minus 16.02. We've got our line, let's do our key up. Oh wow. So we took an 11 meter radio and we put it on 10 meters, that's 10 meter FM, and we're clean. I like it. So in addition to 10 meters and 11 meters, this thing now does 12 meters also. So let's do harmonics of 24,955. And we need to do display, draw a line, because it forgets itself, 16.02. And then we need to double check our external attenuation measurement. It's written over there as minus 40, but it's a little bit bigger over here as minus 40. So we're good to go on that. And let's key down and check. and we're still below that blue line. Oh, awesome, they're disappearing. It does take it a little bit to settle out and figure out what's going on, but we are clean on all 3 bands. If you're a ham, you already know what harmonics are. If you're new to the channel because you saw the flashy CB thing, welcome, glad to have you here. Harmonics are when the radio transmits on the frequency that you've got on the dial, and then also every multiple above that. So if we're at 27 megahertz, 27 times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, those are where the harmonics land, and the FCC requires us to filter those out. The CB radio is type accepted, from the factory, approved and shipped out the door, and is not supposed to have any harmonics. When we take that and we convert it to run on 10 meters, 1 band below, or 12 meters, 1 band above 11 meters of CB, we may or may not create harmonics, and it's our job as hams with our licenses in order to make sure that there aren't any harmonics. This radio doesn't have any harmonics, so I can't show you how to fix what ain't there, but there are filters that you can make that will filter out those harmonics, which also focuses your power out where you want it to go and doesn't interfere with anybody else. We'll do that at some other video in the future, but apparently we don't need to do it for this video here, so we're not gonna. So how awesome is that? Connect the diagonal line with whatever kind of jumper you can and whatever kind of eyeballs you got. Get it on 10, 11, and 12 meters, up to 15 watts. And it's clean. There's a problem though. It's only AM and FM. It is not sideband, so you can't do lower sideband or upper sideband. So if you're going to take this, which we're going to do, if you're going to take this and do a POTA with it, then you need to do an AM POTA or an FM POTA. Can it be done? I guess we'll find out. The POTA spots page is going to be my best friend when I do that. All right, so we're on band L, and for some reason it starts out at L. So this is your lowest frequency on band L, 24,715. And your highest frequency on band L is 25,155. But then you've got a bunch of other program banks besides bank L. So there's N, 24,990 to 24,890, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, N. I don't know why they skipped some letters of the alphabet, but that's what you get. And then some of these have alpha channels inside of them, which are in between. So we have 10 is 26, channel 10 is 26,625, channel 11 is 26,635, channel 11 alpha, 26,645. This is one of those Amazon returns that I need to repair and get shipped out to somebody. This one is now mine and is not for sale because I opened it up and modified it. However, if you would like one, I will leave a link to my store in the description down below where you can get one of these and mod it yourself and play around with it. And having a 10, 11, 12, 15 watt radio, 10 meter, 11 meter, 12 meter, 15 watt power radio, I didn't say that right the first time, in your bag of tricks is going to be pretty awesome. Also, just the bragging rights alone that you're able to do that. Once you make the trip from CB to ham, it is now a ham radio and cannot be used on 11 meters legally. If you were taking a radio that's what they call a 10 meter export radio and making the trip to CB, that is also not legal to do. But because I have a ham radio license, the license that allows me to build radios, I can take any radio and modify it to work on the ham radio bands as long as it remains clean on those bands. That's my job and my responsibility for having my license. So if you like watching a guy take things that aren't supposed to do the things that they do and making them do those weird new things, then this is a channel for you. Make sure you are subscribed by hitting the subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you anything. Makes me happy when I see that number go up, so I greatly appreciate it. There will be links in the description down below also on all of the tools and stuff that I used in this video to get this job done. In the meantime, there is a video right over here I think you'll enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.